Today on the spot, Brian Eckberg goes to Las Vegas to check out MX versus ATV Reflex and also sits down to get his NCAA Basketball 10 on. We take a look at the newest DLC this week on Xbox Live. Sean McKinnon gets a world-exclusive look at Left 4 Dead 2, and tune in for the third and final stage of our great PC giveaway. Today on the spot.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Today on the Spot. My name is Brian Eckberg, joined as seemingly always by Sophia Tong. We're a duo these days.
We are, we're like Chris and Lark.
Yes, except we're better looking, and we have a great show for you guys today. We were going to take a look at MX versus ATV Reflex. We're going to take a look at NCAA Basketball 10, talk to the guys at EA Sports about that game, and we're going to get to the news and all the stuff that's happening on Xbox Live. Before we do that, I want to talk about Demon's Souls, a game that has completely sucked me in. I know you played this game before. You played an import version,
Yeah, I played
right?
an import, but they had English subtitles, but it was really good. And it's really hard. I'm not that patient, but I know that a lot of the guys in the office really love the game, including yourself.
Yeah, it's one of those games that sort of takes over the office. Every once in a while we have a game that takes over the office. Right now I think Justin, Kevin, Tom is playing it. I'm playing it. So
I think Chris is about ready to jump into it too.
Chris might be jumping in after he finishes Borderlands stuff. So it's a really good game. I encourage you guys to check it out and check out Kevin's awesome review on GameSpot. It's a really good review, and it convinced me to play the game, which is what a good review should do. Anyway, let's get to the news. The GameSpot news desk wants to catch you up on everything that's happening in the industry, so let's hear from those guys right now.
Hey everyone, it's your GameSpot news update for Thursday, October 22nd. I'm Tor Thorson. In February 2008, the next-gen video format war came to a sudden end when Toshiba dropped its backing of HD DVD. That left the Blu-ray format, which is used by the PlayStation 3, as the victor, and millions of Xbox 360 owners with one of these to hold down their loose papers. Now, though, it looks like Microsoft may finally be readying a Blu-ray player for the 360. In an interview with tech blog Gizmodo, Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer was asked how the 360 could be a modern entertainment center and not include Blu-ray. He said, well, I don't know if we need to put Blu-ray in there, but you'll be able to get Blu-ray drives as accessories. Keep in mind, though, that a Blu-ray accessory would not be included in the Xbox 360 Elite's price, and the PS3 Slim already has Blu-ray built in. In other news, if you bought Dead Space Extraction last month, you're one of the few. The very few. According to NPD figures, the spin-off of the acclaimed PS3 and 360 horror game had a retail performance uglier than one of its necromorphs. Although there are 25 million Wii owners in the US, the Wii-exclusive on-rail shooter sold just 9,300 units in 5 days. That's a poor showing given the game's solid reviews and EA's massive promotional campaign. With Dead Space Extraction now the third major M-rated Wii exclusive to bomb in a row, the future of hardcore gaming on Nintendo's console looks bleak. And when asked for a comment, an EA spokesperson said,
"Get out of my head! Don't take another step. I warned you!"
All right, if it's Thursday, it's time to take a look at what's happening on Xbox Live this week. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff on the service this week. Anyway, let's get you guys caught up with everything that's happening on Xbox Live.
We've got you covered for all the best content coming out this week on Xbox Live. Starting with downloadable content, Harmonix is bringing out the Abbey Road album for the Beatles rock band. This was one of the most successful Beatles albums ever, with songs like Come Together and Here Comes the Sun. Harmonix also released a Queen pack for Rock Band with 10 of Queen's greatest hits, including Another One Bites the Dust and Killer Queen. Also check out the first expansion pack to Magic: The Gathering. This pack adds new cards and decks, a new single-player campaign, 4 new two-headed giant co-op levels, and 3 new puzzling challenge levels. Moving over to Games on Demand, get ready to be a soldier in a 2-man squad in Army of 2. With all gameplay, missions, and strategies focused on 2-player co-op, this game follows 2 ex-Army Rangers that are now working for a private military corporation. Go for an AI teammate or link up online with a friend because it's going to take an army of 2 to save us. Next up is Sonic Unleashed, which merges classic 2D Sonic gameplay with 3D elements. With Dr. Eggman on a quest for world domination, he unleashes a beast from the center of the world that transforms the planet and triggers mysterious transformations in Sonic. With new abilities and powers, Sonic must race around the world in Sonic Unleashed. Last up is Midnight Club LA. It's a high-speed race through the streets of LA filled with the hottest cars on the roads. Customize your vehicle and get ready for some no-track, no-rules illegal street racing. In the indie games section, you'll find something for any random taste. Feel like carving pumpkins? How about running around as a banana, playing mini golf, or just playing a boring space shooter? And finally, don't miss some of the latest trailers on Marketplace. Jump in the arena with WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, hit the clubs in the latest trailer for GTA expansion Ballad of Gay Tony, do some espionage in Alpha Protocol, check out the new Dragon Age armor, or just watch some pretty fireworks in Final Fantasy XIII. So there's all you need to know for this week on Xbox Live.
All right, thanks for that, Homer. Good job on that. Sophia, I was in Las Vegas recently.
Oh, again? I know you love Las Vegas.
It's not my favorite city in the world, but this had a happy ending because I was there, decided to drop 20 in the slots, came away with $70.
Oh, nice. So what'd you buy?
I did the thing everybody needs to do when they win $70, and that's go to Krispy Kreme.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd go to like some all-you-can-eat buffet or something.
See, you could do that too. But I got home and I told my wife, I was like, we're going to Krispy Kreme. I won money in Vegas. That's what we do.
Oh, you spoil her.
But also, while I was there, I got a chance to check out a new game from THQ and Rainbow Studios. It's their latest off-road racing game. It's called MX versus ATV Reflex. Let's check that out right now.
Hey guys, Brian Eckberg coming to you from the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are here checking out Rainbow Studios' MX vs. ATV Reflex. Now, of course, this is the latest in the long-running MX vs. ATV series. Rainbow knows what they're doing when it comes to off-road gaming, and we're going to talk to them about the game, check out some of the multiplayer, and have a good time here in Sin City. Hey guys, I'm standing here with Elliot Olson, lead technical designer with Rainbow. We're talking about MX vs. ATV Reflex, of course. Elliot, the game has come a long way since we saw it right before E3. Tonight you're showing off multiplayer, but before we talk about that, let's talk about, for those who've never seen Reflex before, what's this game all about?
This is pretty much a brand new game from the ground up. We have a brand new physics engine, we have the visual qualities through the roof, and also, our control scheme, the Reflex, separating the rider control from the vehicle, steering with the left, with the right, the wreck avoidance system, the stunts and the tricks. So a whole bunch of new stuff happening.
The Reflex control system, now that it's in there, it seems like it needed to be in there forever, but it's there and it feels really natural. Can you talk about the evolution of that control scheme?
Yeah, so a lot of us actually ride and race at the studio, and you use your body to really do a lot of what you're doing when you're riding, and no game's never really had that before, and so it was kind of a scary thing to think about. But we kind of bit the bullet with it. And yeah, and like now that it's online, it just makes sense that it's there. It's like, why wasn't it there before, for sure?
What kind of modes are in here? Just give me all the details.
Sure, so we have all of our regular modes like Supercross, Nationals, all the racing modes. We have a couple mini-game specific things that are online only. And you throw in the achievements and all that other stuff. But the really big thing is, racing's meant to be online. And we worked really hard to make sure that online feels good and it's running good and it's performing the way that it should.
So someone buys MX vs. ATV Reflex on day one. What's the first thing they need to do, in your opinion?
The first thing they need to do is actually really jump in the tutorials. The control scheme is not something that somebody's done before. And then from there, I'd probably say go into freeride and just tear off across the world so you can really kind of feel what it's like to be on a bike or an ATV.
All right, Elliot, thank you so much. Last question, of course, is when's this game coming out and what platform?
Yeah, sure. So we'll be out this December, and we're going to be obviously on 360 and PS3, and then also PSP and DS.
So there you go. There's the story here from Las Vegas on MX vs. ATV Reflex. Had a good time checking out the game, playing some multiplayer, and talking to the guys from Rainbow. That was a lot of fun. Now, before I let you go, I want to let you know that right over here to my right is the naked pool at Mandalay Bay. Supposedly naked people are down there. Now, I'm going to have Werner put the camera over there. I can't be held responsible for what you guys see or don't see. But anyway, that's it from Las Vegas. Brian Eckberg signing off. Go see naked people.
Well, as you look at MX versus ATV Reflex, a good-looking game from Rainbow Studios. Looking forward to that. Sophia, there's four basketball games coming out this year. We've got the 3 NBA games. We've got NBA Live 10. We've got NBA 2K10, and we have NBA The Inside from Sony. NBA 10 The Inside, I think it's called. And we also have a college basketball game.
Oh, wow.
I know college basketball is massive in Canada.
No.
No?
No. I only noticed that it was big when I moved out here.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I barely even know what NCAA stands for.
Well, we went over this before the show began. But anyway, NCAA Basketball 10 is coming very soon from the folks at EA Sports. And recently we spoke with line producer Connor Dugan all about the game. So let's see what Connor has to say about NCAA Basketball 10. All right, now it's time to take a look at NCAA Basketball 10. I'm joined by EA Sports' Connor Dugan. Connor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
All right, so NCAA Basketball 10, of course, it's the college basketball games you guys put out every year. Well, let's load it up. And while we're loading it up, I want to ask you about, we have the CBS presentation, but we've also got ESPN. You can choose which presentation type you want, right?
That's exactly right. So we default the game to random broadcast presentation. So depending if you're playing a play now, quick match, then it's going to be either ESPN or CBS Sports. So that's full ESPN integration and branding. And as you can take a look on the screen, you see the CBS intro wipe with the heartbeat, followed by the music that you know and love. That really helps evoke an emotional response that you know and love, because CBS has been doing the tournament since 1982, and anyone who's a college basketball fan identifies with this look, these announcers, and of course this music.
And speaking of the tournament, sorry to interrupt, but speaking of the tournament, you've got the CBS is doing, the NCAA tournament in this game, and a different sort of look for that as well, right?
Right. So we wanted to make. Not only do we have regular season CBS and regular season ESPN, but we also have a tournament broadcast package that differentiates the two. So when you're playing in your dynasty mode, for the regular season games, for the Monday to Friday games, for the most part, you're going to get ESPN. And then when it comes to the weekend games, you're going to get CBS Sports, and then conference tournament times. It depends on, which broadcast partner owns the rights to the tournament. So you'll get CBS or ESPN. And then, of course, the NCAA tournament is owned by CBS Sports, so it's true and authentic, and it's changing and evolving as your season progresses.
Very cool. So we talked about presentation. Let's go back to the motion control offense you were talking about earlier. That is, you have several different ways you can run your offense in this game, right?
Right. We have 8 brand new offensive systems that we put in. So the goal was to focus on, what are the things that are unique to college basketball, like the Princeton offense, the dribble drive offense that, was run at Memphis, and now that Coach Cal went to Kentucky, will be run at Kentucky. The 4-round-1, the 5-out, and really it's all about sort of ball movement, team play, and the ability to react to organic situations. And one of the challenges with this feature was to find a way to make it so it's easy to use. Anytime we talk about play calling in most sports games, it's really an involved process, and we wanted to make it easier for the casual consumer to enjoy what it's like to play college basketball.
Yeah, because you don't really necessarily need to know all the plays in your playbook. It's just as simple as tapping a button, right?
Right, so you can bring the ball up the court, let your guys settle into formation, as I'm doing right here. So I bring the ball up the court. You can see that the Kansas team is in a 4-round-1 formation. I tap my LB button. I can see direct pass icons coming up over players' heads. You can see guys cutting across the key, hard cuts the basket, and there's a backdoor opportunity. And I just squeezed it through, and I missed the layup.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Yes, yeah.
So, but for the more hardcore guys, that you can call specific plays and do all the good stuff.
Yeah, you can change up your motion offenses in your playbook, and there's a variety of them. I can switch it on the fly between, a zone motion offense, or my 4-round-1, or a 5-out motion. But I can also call plays like I used to, whether they're set plays or quick plays, all like I've been able to do in the past.
And you can call for picks and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, right? Definitely.
And notice there that that pass was broken up. The one thing I really appreciate about this is calling a play is not necessarily a guaranteed success. Things happen, right?
No, you're right. It's about execution, and it's about timing. And as you see opportunities arise, You're gonna maybe force it just like in real life and try to sneak that pass in there, or you're gonna hit a guy coming off a screen just like so, and then hopefully it works out for you. But we've also done a lot from the defensive standpoint because we had a lot more cutting to the basket, a lot more cutting off screens, and we needed a way to defend that. So guys are a lot more active in the passing lanes to make it so it's not, like you said, effective every time, and it's not an exploit. It's about balancing and it's about execution.
So let's say my favorite team runs an offensive set that I don't really like, and can I change it up? And how tied to that offensive motion scheme am I, depending on the personnel?
Yeah, well, yes, to answer your first question, you can change it up, and that's just by going into your playbooks and modifying your playbook to make it custom to what you like. And then in terms of modifying or the successfulness of the offense, depending on your team or your personnel. Let's say I have a team that primarily runs 3 around 2. That means 3 guards on the perimeter, 2 big men, and generally they'll run that offense because they have 2 good big men. And so to change their offense to a 5-out offense where 5 guys are along the perimeter, to effectively run that offense, you need a lot of guys who can, handle the ball, shoot from the perimeter. So it's really based on your personnel. Same with, for example, the dribble drive. That offense is really focused on dribble penetration. And it's going to be tough if you have a team with, not a lot of guys who can get to the basket.
Very cool. So it's all about making it look like you know what you're doing on the basketball court, even if you don't necessarily know what you're doing on the basketball court.
Exactly, and it's not about having to know the intricacies of the Princeton offense, because it takes a lot of college kids more than 4 years to learn anyway.
Right.
It's about being authentic to the sport, but also making it fun for people to just pick up, play, and execute offensively and execute and play a college basketball game and all the cool things that go along with that. That means, motion, timing, and, be rewarded for that.
Well, very cool. Well, Connor, thanks for being here. One more question, of course, is when is this game coming out and what platforms?
The game ships on November 17th, in stores on the 18th, and that'll be on the PS3 and Xbox 360.
There you go, NCAA Basketball 10. If you want to know more about the game, you can check the game space at GameSpot.com.
All right, so that was your look at NCAA Basketball 10. Now, something I'm also really excited about.
Yes?
Zombies.
Oh,
No,
God,
not really.
yeah.
But
You're not excited about zombies?
not really. Although Zombieland was a great movie.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
see it.
good.
I'm still looking forward to seeing that. Halloween's right around the corner.
That's true. Next week?
So it's time to start talking about zombies.
Yes, let's.
And to do that, Sean McInnes recently traveled up to his native Seattle to check out Left 4 Dead 2, talk to the folks at Valve, and find out what's going on with this creepy zombie game. Follow up to the awesome Left 4 Dead. So let's see what Sean has to find out from his trip up to Seattle and Valve.
So we're actually starting the Hard Rain campaign where Swamp Fever ends off. You meet Virgil, the man who helps you escape on his boat. And he needs some gas for his boat, some diesel. And you guys, there's a gas station right there along the shore, one of those little towns along the rivers. And you're going to go run and get some gas. It's a milk run. It's easy.
It's right across the street. We could have already been there and back by now. Come on.
Of course, the zombie movie, nothing quite goes as planned. You forget your gun bag at first, you forget the flares, the signal, old Virgil back again, and of course, the gas station's out of gas. So instead of the simple run to go get gas, you actually have to go traverse through the whole city and through the actual old sugar mill to go to a working gas station.
Young, Hunter's got Ellis.
So this one introduces some new elements to Left 4 Dead 2, which are weather effects. Hard rain, obviously. It's not just a catchy title. There's a lot of rain going on, right?
Yeah, correct. So the first time when you start, you actually go through the city and the sugar mill. When you get your gas, you have to come back, obviously, because you want to go back to Virgil and the boat. But as you're coming back, the weather's picked up, and all as you're going, you'll see the weather get worse and worse. But definitely it turns the corner as you're heading back, and you'll actually see storms come up out of nowhere. And you'll get a little hint that you'll see some lightning, and you'll realize, well, we've got to find some cover really quick because the hordes will come when the storms come. And so all of a sudden it'll be blinding rain. You'll barely be able to see. You got to really stick close to your buddies, and then there's just swarms of zombies come. It's especially bad as you first start coming back. There's a big cane field that you have to go through, which is very similar to the cornfields of Blood Harvest, and we all know how hard those were to go through. So we added a storm to those, and they become really difficult.
So one of the other things that you guys are doing new with this campaign is you're not just going from point A to point B, you're sort of going from point A to B and back to A again. What was the inspiration behind that design decision?
We really wanted to give the players something they're familiar with but turned on its head. So as you're going through the first time, you kind of can note some landmarks. There's a garage sale in the city. There's a playground. There's a couple other things inside the mill itself. But on your way back, walking through the land isn't nearly as easy because there's all this water from the rain. And so this swampy movement will slow you down. So you actually want to take some higher roads. And you'll notice all of a sudden what wasn't apparent the first time through is there's all these other routes you could take over the tops of things, on rooftops, on top of the big containers they have at the mill and stuff. And so you actually take those routes back most of the time, unless you get pulled off by a smoker, of course, and you're back in the muck and plowing through there. And so we wanted to be able to give you this thing that you're familiar with, but yet not familiar with. And so you'll definitely see teams kind of struggling with, should we just run through the water down the middle of the street, or should we keep to the rooftops? And in versus, of course, the infected are all about knocking you off those rooftops and back into the water and slowing you down.
You got to learn to shoot.
Once you get to that water, you're kind of trudging through and you can't really run, right?
Yeah, so then you have things like when the charger comes charging at you, it's a lot harder to get out of his way. The other specialists are just able to really kind of come in and attack you a lot clearer. And so you really just have to keep on your toes, and you really want to stay out of the water. And we give you a lot of different alternate paths through the city, a bunch of different buildings you can move through. You can choose to go through second floors, first floors, kind of however you want to navigate it. It's really wide open.
Now, I noticed that in Left 4 Dead 2, some of those 5th chapter finales you're sprinting from one spot to another, which was different from the first one, which was just, you're in a standoff, you're holed up. But in Hard Rain, it kind of returns to that Left 4 Dead style standoff at the very end, right?
We wanted to give you a throwback kind of to that, but it's not quite, because normally in Left 4 Dead 1, we would give you multiple places that we thought were good to hold out. You could have your backs against the wall here. This is a solid defense. Here we actually give you no place that's actually very good to hold out. The roof of the burger tank's actually been ripped open, so there's a giant hole in there. All the ledges end into being torn off into the water. Tanks can send you flying. And inside the burger tank itself is just a maze of chairs, so it's hard to move. So we give you what feels like the old style, but almost it's not, because you really have to just leave yourself really open on the roof of the burger tank fighting off the infected.
Chet, before I let you go, can you tell us when is Left 4 Dead 2 going to be available in stores and which platforms?
So Left 4 Dead 2 will be out this November 17th on PC and 360, and if you pre-order, you'll get access to the demo October 27th.
Chet, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
There you go, Left 4 Dead 2. Stay tuned for more coverage over the next few weeks.
Now, every Tuesday, GameSpot hosts its community game night. If you've always wanted to host one yourself, this next segment is for you. We've got all the tools you need to host your own game night, plus a look at how to get your emblems if you scored really high in our Greatest Game Heroes feature. It's our community spotlight, and it's right now.
Sophia Tong here instead of Jody, bringing you the GameSpot Community Spotlight. The all-time greatest game hero was announced, and it was none other than the free man himself, Gordon Freeman. As an awesome bonus, because Gordon Freeman won the competition with 55.8%, Steam is now offering that all Half-Life games will be discounted at 55.8% in celebration of his victory.
GameSpot ran a competition to see who was the all-time greatest hero. We were very grateful that people were willing to take the time to vote for Gordon.
Now for the greatest Game Hero emblems, we've added 3 more for those of you who participated in the Game Heroes feature. The top 10 emblem was granted to the top 10 users with the highest score from having a solid bracket. The top 100 emblem was granted to all the users in the top 100. And the last emblem will be granted to the lucky winner of the competition. Get ready for Community Game Night. This week, Community Game Night is featuring Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Don't miss out on all the fun and excitement happening Tuesday, October 27th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. The schedule for the remainder of the year can be found on the Game Night page. Hosting Game Night this Tuesday will be Kevin Van Ord and Tom McShay. This week's member spotlight goes to Solid Tie. We found it pretty awesome that although Solid Tie was crowned King of System Wars, he took the time to post a comment about each user mentioned, totaling approximately 36 GameSpot users. If you drop by his blog, you'll find that there are many different categories. He also gives Kevin Van Ord a congrats for being the overall best GameSpot editor. Nice going, Kevin. Speaking of GameSpot members, do you know how easy it is to organize your own game night? As a member, you have 3 areas on the site that give you a way to post an announcement about hosting your own game nights: user-created boards, unions, and personal blogs. You can now post an announcement by creating a thread in GameSpot's Community Game Night Union. There is a radar thread in the GameSpot Community Game Night Union to give exposure to unofficial game nights. To get started, read through the unofficial game night radar thread and post your game night schedule. That's it for this week's Community Spotlight. Drop by the spam filter page for more information on the latest community news.
If you've been following Today on the Spot for the past couple of weeks, you know we're giving away a PC courtesy of the folks at iBuyPower. In week 1, we asked you guys to send in a blog, text, or video telling us why you should win. In week 2, we had a Price is Right styled question asking for the MSRP of the computer and monitor together. And today we have the third and final question. If you guys get this right here today and had previously submitted correct answers for the first 2 questions, then your name will be entered in with the other correct entries, and you might be the lucky one that receives this kick-ass PC. So, for the win, submit a list of all the prizes we've given away so far on Today on the Spot. Yes, we're going to make you guys work for this one. If you answer this correctly and had previously correctly answered the previous 2 Thursdays for our iBuyPower PC giveaway, you'll be entered to win this awesome PC and monitor. You can check our Core I contest details on the Producer's Note blog, and the big rule here is that this contest is only for those 18 years and older and living in the United States. Good luck. All right, so that about wraps up another episode of Today on the Spot. We have some stuff coming up next week. Of course, next week is Halloween. Probably have some
candy.
Fun stuff. Yeah, you like that?
Yes.
We got the Halloween. There'll probably be some candy involved. And on Saturday, we've got a game coming up that I'm going to challenge Sophia to say.
Great. So it's Naruto Shippuden Clash of Ninja Revolution 3.
She did
on
it.
the Wii.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at that game. Of course, everybody loves Naruto.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you're a 14-year-old boy.
That's right. Yeah, or 20. I'm Brian Eckberg. She's Sophia Tong. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you on Saturday on another episode of Today on the Spot. I'm thinking this game might surprise people. I know I've said it before about NCAA basketball, but I really believe it this year. So let's see what Connor has to say. That's stupid. It's like I didn't believe it in previous years. It's like I was lying to people. No. Sophia, what do you know about NCAA Basketball 10?
I don't even know what NCAA stands for.
National Collegiate Athletics Association.
Oh, then I really don't care.
Time for the community spotlight, and I'd be like, check this out. You know Gordon Freeman? You know who that is? Gordon Freeman? Sophia. We'll talk later.
So there was a look at NCAA. Oh, wait, no.
NCAA.